At least 164 people were killed and nearly 1,000 were injured after powerful back-to-back earthquakes hit Venezuela.
Iran has warned that vessels navigating outside Tehran's designated routes was acting illegally.
Commission President Ursula von der Leyen says Ukraine has received 3.2 billion euros as the first disbursement under the European Union's 90 billion euro loan.
At least 164 people lost their lives and nearly 1,000 were injured after powerful back-to-back earthquakes hit Venezuela on Wednesday evening. Acting President Delcy Rodriguez warned the toll was expected to rise as rescuers searched collapsed buildings. The casualty figures excluded the state of La Guaira, which Rodriguez described as a disaster zone and the area hardest hit. She declared a state of emergency during an address to the nation, adding that several countries had offered help, including the United States and several Central and South American nations.
Quiero agradecer a los gobiernos del mundo que inmediatamente ocurrido estos sismos se comunicaron con Venezuela para ofrecer solidaridad y apoyo. Estados Unidos, Panamá, Qatar, Cuba, Nicaragua, Turquía, Jordania, Barbados, Curazao, Colombia, Reino Unido, Brasil, México, Organización de Naciones Unidas, ONU y organismos multilaterales financieros que ya se comunicaron por distintas vías con el gobierno venezolano para expresar su solidaridad con el pueblo de Venezuela.
The 7.2 and 7.5 magnitude earthquakes were among the strongest to strike Venezuela in more than a century, causing damage in several states, including at the country's main airport in Caracas.
With peace talks tentatively set to proceed next week, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has warned that vessels navigating outside Tehran's designated route was acting illegally. Though it did not reference it directly, the IRGC statement challenges Oman's announcement of a new temporary corridor running close to its own coast. IRGC-affiliated media claimed 3 oil tankers using Oman's southern corridor had turned back into the Persian Gulf after receiving warnings from the Iranian Navy. South Korea's Oceans Ministry said separately that 5 South Korean-operated vessels had successfully exited the strait on Thursday, indicating traffic was still moving. Meanwhile, speaking in Bahrain, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said no country owns the Strait of Hormuz and therefore no country has the right to charge for its use.
If in fact we accepted that you can charge money to use an international waterway because it happens to be near your territorial space, well then this would spread throughout the world like a contagion.
Trump said on Wednesday that Iran had assured Washington it was not seeking to impose fees and threatened to immediately halt negotiations if that proved false. The International Maritime Organization showed a gradual normalization of traffic through the Strait of Hormuz.
Ukraine has received 3.2 billion euros as the first disbursement under the European Union's 90 billion euro support loan, Ursula von der Leyen has announced. The announcement at the Poland-Ukraine conference on Thursday marks a turning point in the 6-month political struggle to get the loan off the ground. The monies will help cover Kyiv's budgetary gaps and guarantee financial stability.
And indeed, today we are transferring the first tranche under this loan, dear Julia. More than 3.2 billion euros in macro-financial assistance. So you're right, I'm happy and proud to announce this disbursement today.
A second disbursement dedicated to drone production and worth about 6 billion euros is expected to be unveiled in the coming days. The 27 EU leaders agreed on the extraordinary assistance package in December after an inventive proposal to tap into Russia's immobilized assets fell apart at the 11th hour. The news of the disbursement comes as Ukraine enjoys renewed momentum on the battlefield against Russian troops and as Moscow's war machine shows growing strain.
U.S. President Donald Trump told NATO chief Mark Rutte on Wednesday that he was let down by members of the transatlantic alliance who did not back his war against Iran. Trump's second term has been marked by tensions with NATO allies who have voiced skepticism over the need for the conflict in the Middle East.
I just want their loyalty. We don't need their money. We don't need anything. We have the most powerful military in the world by far. But I just want loyalty. You know, we're so loyal to them. We're always fighting for them. We have thousands of troops all over Europe. In Germany, we have 50,000 troops. And then you want a little, give us a little nudge, give us a little kiss. We don't want much.
Rutte, for his part, defended the conduct of NATO countries, pointing to the use of air bases in Europe.
I know there have been debates about whether your allies in Europe were with you enough. I just want to say one thing, which is sometimes... Yeah, but let me say one thing, which is... I know you think that, but let me... And I know about the, let's say, your irritation about that. But when you look at the numbers, 4,000 to 5,000 US planes taking off from bases in Europe. In the 6 weeks this war took place, still the ceasefire took place mid-April.
Rutte's remarks sparked immediate condemnation from Iran, who accused him of admitting to NATO complicity in the war. Italy quickly distanced itself from Rutte's statement, calling it misleading, and adding that Italy had only allowed technical and logistical US flights under existing agreements.
Insularity and the need to support the millions of Europeans living in the European Union's island and coastal regions were the focus of the meeting between Raffaele Fitto and Nikos Christodoulidis. The European Commission's Executive Vice President for Cohesion and Reforms was received by the President of Cyprus and congratulated the country on its achievements during its presidency of the Council of the European Union.
This is an important occasion also to present the strategy for islands. The strategy for islands was an important new approach of the European Commission. We have worked very, very well. We have 17 million people that live in the islands, and the message that we want to give is that this is an important tool for the future, in particular also to use better the new approach of the new European budget, the next MFF, because we have the opportunity also to use the resources with these strategies also to face the big challenge of the cost of insularity. This is the first message that I would like to give, and now we have to continue our work with the Cypriot government to achieve these very important results.
Direct US-Iran talks are threatening the peace process between Israel and Lebanon, a former Israeli government spokesperson told Euronews, as it would allow Iran to dictate terms and maintain its influence in Lebanon. A fifth round of Lebanese-Israeli talks began on Tuesday, but it was overshadowed by US-Iran talks that concluded on Monday in Switzerland.
The Iranian regime is trying to rebuild its network of proxy armies in the Middle East right now, and that's why Israel is warning that the direct US-Iran talks threaten to derail the fragile peace process between Israel and Lebanon itself. Israel's ambassador to the US this week warning we're heading for a train wreck.
Vice President J.D. Vance said the US-Iran talks in Switzerland resulted in an agreement to end hostilities in the region, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, and provide sanctions relief to Tehran. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is touring Gulf countries in an attempt to ease their concerns. Levy fears a U.S.-Iran deal would empower Tehran again and weaken Israel.
If this war ends with an American withdrawal from the region, if it allows the Iranians to charge tolls on the Strait of Hormuz, if it lets them rebuild their ballistic missiles, then Gulf countries that were thinking of making peace with Israel are going to be looking over their shoulders and trying to reach accommodations with the Iranian regime. That is the threat at this current moment.
To prevent a Hezbollah comeback, Israel refuses to withdraw from southern Lebanon and continues its deadly attacks on the country, despite the announcement of a new US-brokered ceasefire on Friday.
An exceptional heatwave continues to grip France, with Météo France placing a record number of 72 districts on red alert and a further 17 on amber alert after the country recorded unprecedented maximum temperatures. The punishing climate conditions have severely disrupted public infrastructure. Education Minister Edouard Gaffrey confirmed that 13,500 schools have been closed or forced to adjust schedules. Public health services are under unprecedented strain, with emergency room visits for severe heat stroke tripling across all age brackets, including young adults aged 15 to 44. Relief is expected to arrive gradually from the southwest as a cooler air mass is moving in from the Atlantic coast, triggering severe thunderstorm warnings across 10 regions. Meteorologists warn these incoming storms could bring volatile wind gusts of up to 90 kilometers per hour, but allowing authorities to lift the red heat wave warnings in 11 western coastal regions by late evening. However, the dangerous conditions are forecast to persist over the weekend across the rest of the country, with daytime temperatures lingering at an oppressive 40 to 42 degrees Celsius.